lights on Walden Ridge, cold air rolling off the edge. Windrock hums when the engines wake, Trail 15 in the dust we make. Caryville Flats in a golden light, steel and gravel, red clay tide. Trail 16 through pine and stone, these hills ain't ours, they're on loan. We don't own these woods and streams, we just pass through with our machines. This is the land we ride, Windrock carved in mountainside, Panther Rock standing tall and proud, Walden Ridge above the clouds. Trail 15 and 16 went through roots and rock and back again. We ride strong but we tread light, respect the land, that's how we ride. Panther Rock, echo roll when the throttles talk. Caryville dust in the afternoon, summer heat and a blue sky moon. Ridgeline narrow, wheels in line, every turn feels like home and mine. But we pack it out, we fix what's wrong, keep it wild and keep it strong. Leave no scar that time can't heal, guard the dirt beneath our wheels. So this is the land we ride, Walden Ridge and mountainside. Windrock trails cut deep and wide, Panther Rock our northern guide. Trail 15 and 16 call from Caryville Flats to the overlook wall. We ride proud but we ride right, respect the land, that's our fight. Son's first gear, these woods been standing for 1,000 years. We're just guests on ancient ground, in every echo, every sound. So teach the next one how to stand, throttle strong, but love the land. This is the land we ride, Windrock wild and dignified, Walden Ridge in the evening light, Panther Rock against the night. Trail 15 and 16 true, Caryville sky so wide and blue. We keep it clean so it survives for the next generation that rides. Alarm clock buzzing at 4:15, coffee black as Tennessee dreams. Headlights cut through the mountain fog, steel toe boots, engine cough. Cold air hanging in the hollow low. Trail 15 needs some love, I know. Tracks roll slow through that red clay ground. Windrock wakes to a diesel sound. Hands on iron, hard in the dirt. Sun ain't up, but we're already at work. We're building these trails before sunrise. Jack on the dozer, pushing mountainside. Jordan on the cat, swinging wide, carving lines down the mountainside. From G paint glowing in the break of dawn. Jake drops the blade and the brush is gone. Steel edge biting through ridge and clay. Cut that bench the mountain way. Jordan rolls that bucket slow. Sets each rock where the water will flow. Every pass smooth, every grade just right. We're chasing rain and holding tight. This ain't glamour, ain't no show. Just mountain men making trails flow. We're building these trails before sunrise. Jake holding steady on that line. Jordan's cat reaching high and wide. Carving switchbacks in the mountainside. From Trail 20 to Panther Rock, we're setting steel against the clock. So when that throttle hits full flight, they'll ride what we built last night. Mud on the blade, diesel in the air. Jordan feathers that boom with care. Jake leans forward, eases it into machines humming like mountain hymn. This land don't break, but it'll test your will. You earn every inch on this mountain hill. We're building these trails before sunrise. Green and yellow side by side. From the first cold spark to the last tail light. Windrock stands 'cause we fight that fight. Yeah, the riders see the thrill and speed, but this mountain runs on grit and steel. And every berm, every climb so tight was built before the morning light. Sun coming up over Tennessee stone. Dust in the air, yeah, we're in our zone. Loaded up heavy, but you're sitting right on the right parts. And she ready to fight. 35-inch Zillas digging in deep. Blowing up the mountain like it owes me a Jeep. Trail on my skid plate, dragging on steel. Hear that scrape, that's how freedom feels. Oliver Springs, we ain't playing safe. Lock it in low, let the mountain shake. At Windrock, we ride wide open throttle. KRX 1000 full send model. Painkiller suspension, eating every drop. Bounce off the ledge and she never gonna stop. Mud on the doors, flexing the axles. Built for the climb, no room for shackles. From the flats to the overlook top, we don't back down. We built for the rock. Trail 20 overlook, sky on fire. Climb so steep, you better have time. Zilla's humming like a battle cry. Kicking up shale as we scrape the sky. Trail armor underneath, taking blows. Rock ledge kissing where nobody goes. Painkiller soak up the brutal light. Windrock nights under LED glow, mud on the glass, but we still gonna go. KRX 1000 built, not stock, all the right parts rule the rock. From the valley floor to the mountaintop, we don't shut it down, we don't let it drop. If it's steep, if it's slick, if it's jagged and rough, we came prepared, and that's enough. For the rock. We're going full mud flinging, whiskey soul, backcountry anthem, say less vulgar. Here's your Windrock country banger, built for tailgates, Trail 15 and busted knuckles. Yeah, sun's barely up, but the rig's loud. Diesel smoke hanging like a rebel cloud. Cooler in the back and a flag on the cage. Trail map folded on the dash like a page. Got the red clay caked on my boots and jeans. Windrock dirt runs through my veins, it seems. Crank that country on the radio. Air down low, let's roll slow. We were raised on rock and red clay roads. Fly Nevada where the wild wind blows. From the ridge line high to the hollow below. If you know that's Windrock was. Stars shine bright over rattling steel. Four wheels climbing, freedom feels real. Ain't no city light gonna steal my soul. Windrock rays, yeah, that's my home. Stretches on the doors, battle scars, front diff locked, we're crawling hard. Bonfire crackling by the trailhead sign. Somebody strumming on a 6-string fine. Cold one cracked with the crew at night. Stories get bigger by firelight. Engines cool, but we ain't done. Tomorrow we climb with the rising sun. We were raised on rock and red clay roads. Throttle down where the wild wind blows. From the ridge line high to the hollow below. If you know anthem, say less vulgar. Here's your Windrock country banger, built for tailgates, Trail 15, and busted knuckles. Yeah, sun's barely up, but the rig's are loud. Diesel smoke hanging like a rebel cloud. Cooler in the back and a flag on the cage. Trail map folded on the dash like a page. Got a red clay caked on my boots and jeans. Windrock dirt runs through my veins, it seems. Crank that country on the radio. Air down low, let's roll slow. We were raised on rock and red clay Sun burning through that Tennessee haze, loading up trailers like my daddy raised. Got my boy riding shotgun proud, and my grandson laughing way too loud. Grease on our hands, dust in the air, Windrock calling like a Sunday prayer. Steel-toe boots and a cooler of dreams, a family built on torque and gasoline. Daddy said, son, this mountain don't lie. It'll test your grit, it'll teach you why you stand your ground when the trail gets steep. Now I hear those words in the boy I'm teaching. 3 generations on the mountain, trail dust rising like a prayer. From these hollows to forever, we leave our tire tracks there. From my father to my grandson, same fire in our eyes, Windrock blood running deep through these red clay skies. Trail 15 trying to break our pride, but we just drop it low and let it ride. My grandson grips that grab all tight, says, Papa, this is the best day of my life. My son just smiles, he remembers when he was a kid riding next to me back then. Now he's the one checking straps and chains. Time moves fast, but the mountain stays the same. I see my daddy in the way he stands, grease-stained heart, his steady hands. Legacy ain't money in a wheel, it's teaching your blood how to climb that hill. 3 generations on the mountain, engines roll like thunder rolls, steel and sweat and southern roots cut deep down in our souls. From my father to my grandson, we don't back down or quit. Windrock raised us hard and proud with a whole lot of grit. When I'm long gone and my boots ain't here, they'll still hear my voice in the rumble of gear saying, hold it steady, pick your line, that mountain will echo it every time. 3 generations on the mountain, sun setting slow and red. One day he'll bring his own little boy and tell him what I said. That family's more than blood and bone, it's the dirt beneath your feet. And Windrock's where our name was carved in Tennessee concrete. Sun ain't up, but the whistle screams. Steel-toe boots and faded jeans. Black dust rising from a cold, dark scene, swinging that pick like a war machine. Hard hat lamp cutting through the gloom. Earth shakes deep in that hollowed room. Sweat and prayer in a miner's tune, working that coal till the daylight's through. Hands like leather, lungs like stone, breaking their backs to bring it home. One by day, one by night, digging down deep, then cooking it white. Hard winters bite, hot summers burn, 2 kinds of fire in the hills they earn. Sun up to sundown, don't ask Snow on the ridge, wind cuts cold, cold train rolling black and bold. Mama stove on the last bit of load. Daddy say, son, that's how it's old. But when the sun dips past the pine, copper still in a mason line. Steam rolls thick in the lantern shine. That Mountain Dew run clear and fine. Same two hands, different fight. Dark of the mind, dark of the night. One by day, one by night. Digging down deep, then cooking it white. Hard winters bite, hot summers burn. Two kinds of fire in the hills they earn. Sun up to sundown, don't ask why. Coal in the blood, corn in the rye. Living that life where the law runs thin. One by day, moonshine by night again. Shirt soaked through in that cold dust sheen. Still bubbles slow by a creek unseen. Sweet revenge on a work day's lean. Sheriff rise, but he won't find men who hustle both heart and spine. Just Appalachian backbone kind. Half in the dark, half in the shine. One by day, one by night. Black rock miner, mountain white. Hard winters howl, hot summer sting. But those hills still hear them sing. From the deep mine shaft to the hollows bend, they'll work that earth till the bitter end. Born a fire, forging skin. One by day, moonshine by night again.
Loaded up before the sunrise glow, airing down where the cool winds blow. Trail 15 calling rocks and ruts, front end climbing, tires cut. Red clay flying off that tread, heartbeat thumping in my chest. Below gear grinding, engine singing, mountain knows the sound we're bringing. From Trail 15, where the boulders bite, to Trail 20 overlook at sunset light. We climb, we crawl, we earn that view. Steel and grit in the sky so blue. Flag in the wind, dust in the air. Freedom's found up there somewhere. If you've ever stood where the ridges look, you know that feeling at Trail 20 overlook. Spotter yelling driver's side, a little more throttle, let it ride. Locker clicks and the tires grab, whole crew cheering like it's NASCAR. Scratches are not bought in chrome, out here's where a man feels home. Mud on the doors, pride in the grin, you don't Looking out past the valley floor makes you want a little bit more. Trail 15, we paid our dues. Trail 20, that $1 million view. Bonfire glow when the daylight fades. Windrock nights and red clay days. Yeah, that mountain carved this soul. 4 wheels turn, but the heart's in control. Ain't no map gonna tell that story from 15 to 20. That's Windrock glory.
Sun sinks low on the Cumberland sky. Dust from the side-by-sides drifting by. Engines cool on Trail 15. Shadows stretch where the pines lean in. Up on Walden Ridge the wind talks low. Through Panther Rock where the wild things go. We laughed it off when the old folks said don't stay too long. Past the daylight's dead, there's prints in the mud with no boots tread. Heavy steps where the laurel spreads. They say Bigfoot walks Windrock at night, crosses Caryville Flats in the pale moonlight. From Taggart Creek to the top of the world, through Sand Lake fog where the mist is curled. You can hear him howl when the engines die. Deep in the hills where the eagles fly. Yeah, ain't just a story we all overlook. He's a legend living in Windrock. Trail 16 was quiet and still. Royal blue side of the mountain. watches over every man and child, keeps the reckless boys in line, makes sure we respect these hills of pine. Leave no trace, don't tear up the land, ride with heart and a steady hand, 'cause if you don't, well, take a look, you might need the King of Windrock. Yeah, Bigfoot walks Windrock at night through Walton Ridge in silver light, from Panther Rock to Caryville Flats. He knows every trail and where you're at. When the campfires fade and the coyotes call, you might hear heavy footsteps in the draw. And if you feel them woods all shook, that's the legend, the mountain shadow, Bigfoot.
Yeah. Turn it up. It's that dirt road DNA right here.
Bull Hill drag when I step outside. Dust cloud rise, that rebel pride. Small town made, I don't gotta hide. Cut from grid, let the weak one slide. Chrome on black, that frame sit tall. Red clay splash on the sidewall. Talk real loud, but they don't want brawl. I've been 10 toes down through it all. Hands stay rough, palms stay scarred. Work all day, play twice as hard. Built this name in a backyard yard. No silver spoon, just faith in God. I don't fold when the heat get real. Pressure make diamonds, that's how I feel.
Mud in my veins, fire in my chest. Came from the bottom, I don't need rest. Stand my ground, I don't second guess. Outlaw soul, I was born like this. Mud in my veins, dirt on my name. Built from pain, I embrace the flame. Say it loud so they know my claim. I ain't switching up, I stay the same.
Engine roar when the night fall down. Headlights cut through a ghost town. Talk big talk, but don't make sound. When it's time to move, I hold my ground. Learn my lessons the hard way route. Never back down, never tap out. Work through pain, no doubt and doubt. If the door stay closed, I kick it out. Circle small, but the loyalty deep. If I give my word, that's mine to keep. Ain't chasing cloud, I don't need sheep. I'm wide awake while the rest asleep. Built like that, I don't break like glass. Pressure hit hard, I just press the gas. It's for the ones that grind in silence. No applause, just strength and defiance. Storm rolling, we call that guidance. Stand up tall in the face of giants. Mud in my veins, fire in my chest. Stand my ground.
Shook hands in a marble hall, smiled wide while the factories fall. Champagne dreams in a crystal glass, sold our future for a little cash. Steel towns, rust farms run dry, paper promises stacked sky high. They talk real smooth on the evening news. The main streets wearing working boots. They don't hear that midnight train, don't feel that back-breaking pain. Men in suits behind closed doors, counting votes like they're counting wars. Sign the names in black ink lies while the red, white, blue just cry. Gold cufflinks, a handshake deal, never touched a plow or steering wheel. Razor toes with their many excuses, yet a men in suit killed this country. Mama's Donna shut down last June. Mortgage note came way too soon. Kids still stand for a fading flag while the lobby money fills their bag. They say progress, they say reform. Ain't the house facing the storm? They fly first class above the fight while we're clocking in before daylight. They don't know a laid off man or calloused hands that built this land. Men in suits behind closed doors, writing rules we never asked for, trading truth for headline spin, calling loss a win. Polished shoes on a polished floor, don't remember what they swore. Razor toes with their slick excuses, yeah, the men in suits killed this country. But there's fire in these hills tonight, boot heels striking sparks in the fight. You can't kill roots running this deep. We don't bow and we don't sleep. Let the men in suits hide in their towers, counting stolen working hours. We'll raise our kids on grit and grace, still believe in this battered place. You can lie and confuse us, but the men in suits won't finish this country. Kill this country. Kill this country.
Diesel smoke and a heavy load, red clay boots and a John Deere Hummer. That's where this whole damn story's from. Steel-toe boys on a factory line, coal does longs and overtime. Wheat field waves like an old flag flies. Truth ain't polished, sweat in the skies. We pulled the concrete, laid the rails, hammered hope with rusty nails. Built these towns board by board, prayed to heaven, worked the Lord. Farmers and blue collar built this country, calloused hands, dirt rich and hungry. Blood in the soul, sweat in the ground. That's how freedom's really found. While men in suits behind tall glass walls signed their names and watched it fall. We raised these barns, we raised these sons, we built it up, they sold it off one by one. Oil rigs grown in the midnight rain, freight train howl like a working man pain. Mama's table, paycheck, then still we bow our heads and dig back in. Main Street lights flicker slow, hardware store in a corner smoke. We knew the weight of every dime, didn't need a speech to know right from wrong. From harvest moons to factory sparks, we kept the fire in America's heart. Didn't need a corner office view, just a sunrise and a job to do. Farmers and blue collar built this country, brick by brick and row by row. Hands that bled in the summer heat kept this nation on its feet. While men in suits behind closed doors counted profits, started wars. We held the line, we paid the cost, and watched the backbone slowly get lost. You can't grow crops on broken truss, can't pave a road with paper dust, can't replace a working spine with a headline and a dotted line. Farmers and blue collar built this country, from the hollers to the factories, from iron beams to cornfield rows, from river banks to back porch O's. You can dress it up in a tailored lie, but truth still lives where the hammers fly. And if this land's gonna stand again, it'll rise up from working men.
red clay and gasoline, cheap all nights and broken dreams. Mama prayed while I ran wild, counting lines and a crooked smile. Cowboy boots and a heavy hand, dust on my Bible, blood on my plans. Thought I was king of that runaway race, didn't know I was locked in a cage. Neon buzz in a jailhouse light, whiskey burn in the dead of night. Then I heard that hymn through the pouring rain, like a steel train calling my name. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, pulled this outlaw off the ground. I was lost on a dead-end road, running hard with a heavy load. Chains broke loose in a midnight blaze, mercy hit me in a smoky haze. Blind as hell, but now I see, grace still rides for a man like me. Sheriff knew my truck by sight. Daddy said, son, you ain't living right. Gravel scars and a restless soul, digging deep in a devil's hole. But grace don't care where you've been, don't keep score on a life of sin. Kicks that door like a hurricane wind and drags you back again. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, pulled this outlaw off the ground. I was lost on a dead-end road, running hard with a heavy load. Chains broke loose in a midnight blaze, mercy hit me in a smoky haze. Blind as hell, but now I see, grace still rides for a man like me. Yeah, no saint won't claim that crown, still got dust when the sun goes down. But I ain't running from truth no more, laid my pride at heaven's door. Grace don't whisper, it roars like a rain, breaks a wild man's iron chain. From back road sinner to redeemed, that's the power of a king unseen. Yeah, I was blind, but now I see.